Up next, we'll meet one of the people behind a startup that aims to make learning a new language as simple as browsing the web. But first, take a look at their pitch video. This is FlipWord.
Hi, I'm Thomas.
Hi, I'm Minhua.
And we're the co-founders of FlipWord, a language learning tool that solves the hardest and most often overlooked problems of learning a foreign language, remembering to study and finding time in the first place. Like most of you, I failed to really understand Spanish using traditional methods. While self-studying Chinese using language apps, I realized that the biggest challenge I faced was just simply opening the app every day.
As a language educator, I found that even if my students had time, they would often procrastinate. We started this company because we think there is a much better way for you to learn successfully. Linguists say the best method to learn is from what you actually use every day. Here's how it works. FlipWord will add tiny lessons into articles you read so that you can focus on more important things.
As you browse, you'll naturally learn to read and speak foreign words. FlipWord shows little quizzes as you learn to confirm your progress. Soon, you'll be speaking natively with others. We'll make sure that conversation never ends. Please help us change how languages are learned by contributing to our campaign. Thank you.
Now, let's meet one of the co-founders of FlipWord, Thomas Reese. Thanks for being here, Thomas.
Sure, no problem. Glad to be here.
Okay, so I'm curious how you and your business partner came up with this idea.
Sure. So it initially started with I was self-learning Chinese, and she was educating others on learning Chinese, as well as being a learner of Chinese along the way. And this just naturally seemed like a way that popped into our heads to solve the problem. We were spending tons of time online, and yeah, thought that would be a good way to.
What would you say was the problem that you guys were trying to solve?
Sure. So the biggest problem that people face is trying to find time to study in the first place, remembering to review later, procrastinating when they actually do have time.
That's me.
Yep.
Yes.
And then just keeping up with it for a lot of time.
Okay, this is so relevant to my life because I'm actually learning Spanish right now, and one of the things that I struggle with is finding the time to actually practice with my tutor and do all my homework.
Yeah.
So why is it, though, so hard for us to learn a new language?
Sure. Well, what people don't really realize or think about is that right now you have to set aside dedicated time and stop everything else that you're doing and try to learn a language. Mm-hmm. Well, babies don't do that. They do it as a secondary task. And that's what FlipWord's trying to do, is trying to make it a secondary task where you do the things that you enjoy doing, and then automatically, naturally pick up the second language and keep it for the long duration of time.
So we saw a little in the video, but you're kind of talking about how it works. But can you kind of walk us through exactly how someone who's starved for time but wants to learn the language, how they interact with FlipWord?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're browsing on Amazon, reading your friends' posts on Facebook, or just reading the news on Huffington Post or any other website, it will automatically change some of those words into the language that you're trying to learn.
Oh, I see. So not without me asking for it, I'm just reading an article, and all of a sudden the language I'm studying is going to pop up and force me to struggle through.
Yeah, you're forced to learn it, otherwise you won't know what it's saying.
And then if you don't know what a word is, you can hover over it with your cursor. It'll tell you what it is. It includes example sentences. It lets you practice typing, speaking, as well as having native videos that let you see that word used in context, the way that a native speaker would use it. And then as you progress, as you use it more and more, it learns that and will automatically start teaching you more and more difficult content.
This is so fascinating. So how many languages does your platform support?
Absolutely. We currently support 8 different languages.
Okay. What are they?
Yeah,
Sure. So we support Spanish, German, Italian, and French, as well as Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Thai.
All right. Which ones are you going to learn, Adam?
Well, I'm going to start with all and see where it goes from there, because I don't like to do anything small. So what about from a business standpoint? I know at one of my ill-gotten adventures was I used Duolingo or Rosetta Stone. Who do you see as your competition?
Sure. So Duolingo and Rosetta Stone are definitely our main competitors in the language learning space. So one of the issues that they usually have is that very few people who buy Rosetta Stone ever open it. I mean, there's a lot of disks out there collecting a lot of dust. And for Rosetta Stone, or for Duolingo, they drop out over 2 weeks. That is the average user duration. So we very much feel that with us, there is no app to open. You just do what you're doing every day. You're not going to, at any time, stop browsing the web, I'm guessing.
Right.
And it will naturally be there without you trying. So those are our main competitors, and we feel like we are very well suited. But in the future, we're going to go as well towards a test taker market, which is a very, very large market in Asia. And we're pretty well suited to do that and hopefully take out the current incumbents.
Great.
You might have already mentioned this, but it's also available on your phone. So I'm assuming once you have this app, it could go on your desktop, laptop, phone. I mean, do you get to control which devices you have or don't have it on?
Sure. So currently it is on desktop.
Okay.
It works in Google Chrome. But in the future, we are currently prototyping on Android and iOS, and then we hope to, in the future, extend it everywhere. The real goal is to make it immersion without immersion in your everyday life. So no matter what devices you're on, it will automatically carry over and make it completely natural so that you can get it all the time and not have to think about it.
Sounds like you've really covered a lot of the things you need to think about to make this happen. What do you feel are your biggest obstacles, or what are your worries?
Sure. So the biggest obstacles right now is getting resources, which is why we're holding a crowdfunding campaign, and we'd love for you guys to help contribute. But I think in addition to that, we want to make it as effective as possible, and the only way that we can do that is to continue growing the team and get it out there to the world.
Got it. Well, great. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thanks for
Great
having
job
me.
you did. We wish you all the luck in the world with your campaign and with the company, and we can't wait to hear more about how FlipWord goes. To find out more about FlipWord, go to flipword.co.